Charlie's gone.
Charlie's gone. Where'd he go? Damn.
But he was literally just there during the intros.
I know. Man. Okay. Welcome to the Scuttlebutt Podcast. Wait, take it over.
Without the guest.
Without the guest.
Today we were here with Charlie from Single Tree Barbecue, but while we're waiting for him to hop back on, I would like to thank our Patreon members, our YouTube followers, our Facebook followers. Thanks for all your support and
the 26 different countries that are listening to us.
Yes.
Is it even? Have you seen it? Have you seen the list? Is it even more?
I haven't looked in a while. So last time I looked, it was like 26 countries.
Damn, that's amazing.
But
that's awesome.
Yeah, we're out there killing it, doing our thing. I've been talking about this cookbook that I've been writing and taking. It's not just your normal everyday grandma's cookbook.
I can't wait to see it, man. I can't believe that you didn't even let me preview it before.
Well,
but that's okay.
I wanted everything to be a secret. So, but have you ever seen a cookbook with the F word in it?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I think one of our guests
it wasn't me. I know it wasn't me.
I think it might have been Hunt. I think his quote was something. He said something like, "He fucking shot me in the face" or something like that.
Yeah, yes, I do. Yes. And Hunt, we'll see him in a couple weeks. Hopefully, he'll be the junior vice commander of the state of Tennessee.
Yeah. So the deal with the cookbook is it's 92 pages. It's filled with some of my favorite recipes and some of my favorite quotes from TSP.
That's awesome. When does it get printed out?
It is 100% finished. It went to the printer via my publisher, who is Jeffrey Sabins. He helped me out tremendously.
Gunny!
I appreciate it, Gunny. So what happens is on Friday, it will he's back.
Here he is. He's back.
There we go.
Hey, we were just killing time, dude, before you came back. We knew you wouldn't leave us.
No, it just froze up for some reason all of a sudden.
Just so Friday, I will get a draft of it. I read it over, and if I like what I see, I hit the go button, and sometime next week I'll have copies.
Sweet, man. That's
so
awesome.
We
need to put that in Single Tree Barbecue for people to buy.
What's that?
Yes.
His cookbook.
I just finished my cookbook.
Yeah.
It's 92 pages, and it has some of my favorite recipes and some of my favorite quotes from our guests over the last 2 years.
Which we need to get a nice quote from you, Charlie, at the end of this. So.
Yeah, for the next book, because the next book is going to be the Farrer Brothers book, cookbook. We got to start working on that. I'm probably going to take 2 weeks off after this one because it was a lot time consuming. It was very, pretty in depth. I did it all myself. So.
You did.
Yeah.
With Gunny Sabins.
Yeah. After I finished it, I sent it to Gunny Sabins, and he was like, did you already have somebody look at this? And I was like, no, why? He's like, it's formatted perfectly when he put it in his program.
You know why? Because Fleek is a nerd.
Yeah, I'm an IT guy. So
he's a nerd.
I built it in a software that's specifically for books. So
that's cool, man. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm so happy for you. I can't wait till it comes out. But with no further ado, Charlie Eblen, founder of Single Tree Barbecue. This is your show, buddy. Who are you? Tell our viewers who the hell you are and why the fuck you're on this show.
I'm on the show because y'all are just nice guys and want to look at my ugly mug for a little while.
Oh, that's nice.
But, I am the owner, operator, founder of Single Tree Woodfire Barbecue, podcast host of Single Tree Nation. Husband, father, son, all of the things, man. My most important job is taking care of my wife and kids. So, that's number one, and then the rest of the stuff takes up all of my time.
When does your podcast go on? What's the word?
We've taken a minor hiatus with opening the restaurant.
Oh yeah, I got you.
So it just takes too much time to operate the store, and then try to, which you guys know, book guests and have that every week.
It's very time consuming.
Yeah.
So getting it all squared away. So, we're looking to go back. We were recording on Mondays, and then it would come out every Wednesday. So I think we have 16 episodes right now.
Nice.
So we'll get back to it.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely, man. Where are you from, Charlie?
So I'm originally from Atlanta. I was born in Atlanta.
Hot Atlanta.
Yep, hot Atlanta. I lived there. Well, we moved to Phoenix, Arizona, then we moved back to Atlanta, then moved to Houston, Texas, then moved back to Atlanta. When I was 9, I moved here to Murfreesboro and moved to live with my father. And we lived here in Murfreesboro. My grandfather had a farm in Shelbyville, which we can dive into later. But I spent a lot of my time out there, just kind of here and in and around Middle Tennessee. Never really left until after high school. After high school, I moved back to Atlanta. I thought I wanted to go to school at Kennesaw State University and play golf.
Good school.
And it was a really good school. I was down there for about a year, then moved back to Murfreesboro. My brother and I were cooks and dishwashers and whatever. We were kitchen guys, and we worked. We worked in this sports bar attached to a hotel called Shoeless Joe Sports Bar in the Garden Plaza Hotel here in Murfreesboro. And
damn, when was that?
Light years ago is what it feels like, but that would have been 99. And so we had a huge banquet that night. I think 400 or 500 people in the banquet hall. And then it was on the weekend, so we had the big dining room rush for the restaurant. And on top of that, it was football season, so we were just extra busy because we were a sports bar, and there wasn't that many sports bars in Murfreesboro in '99. And we get done working at night. It's like 1 o'clock. My dad's a sales rep for a golf company, and he's out of town, and me and Cooper are sitting on the couch, and we kind of look at each other and said, man, what are we going? Is this our life? Like, is this really what we're going to do with our life? We're smart guys. We got potential to do something. Are we really going to be short order cooks for the rest of our lives? And I was like, no, that's not my plan. And he looks at me and said, well, what is your plan? And I'm like, well, I don't really know yet, but I'm going to figure it out. He said, yeah, what do you think about joining the Army? Or joining the military? What is that? I said, well, I've honestly thought about it a lot. My grandfather was in for a long time. Spent 27 years in the Army. His grandfather had spent a long time in the Air Force. And so we got up the next morning and said, well, let's go to the recruiter's office. See what happens.
Sounds like an episode of like Stripes, the movie. Like, let's go to the recruiting office. Let's just hang out. Let's go.
Let's see what happens. Yeah. We went to all four. And we saved the best branch for the last.
So then why didn't you pick the best branch then?
That's a very good question.
Good one, Fleet.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. See, and I wasn't even shooting it at you. I was over there at him.
Yeah, I know, dude. I got that. That.
No, it was. Look, it was funny. We had no. There wasn't a pre-notion of we were going Army or we were going to go Air Force or we were going to go Navy or Marine. Like we had enough sense in our brains to make the decision ourselves of this is what we want to do. We're making the decision to join. So what branch are we going to go to? And we walked in the Air Force office and literally turned right back around.
It was open and you could actually go in, because like nowadays you just get the card on the door and you call them and then you schedule an appointment. I guess that's how they do it in the Air Force.
I mean, hey, there's proper planning prevents poor performance, right?
7 P's, baby, 7 P's.
But I mean, yeah, we weren't in the Air Force office 5 minutes. I mean, it was like, yeah, not for me. And then we went to the Navy office, was right next door. We walk in there, and it was kind of the same thing. My brother looked at me and said, "You really want to be on a boat for 6-7 months a year?"
Yes.
And I
he does.
I was like, well, we can't fish off of it, so probably not. So this probably isn't going to work out very well for us. We were there for a little bit. We listened to everything they had to say, and then we walk into the Marine Corps office, and holy shit, I've never been so terrified of anybody in my entire life. I mean, I'm an 18, 19-year-old kid. I get it, discipline and what is it? Discipline, honor,
courage, commitment.
Yeah.
Loyalty, and discipline, integrity.
This guy hops up and he's a young fella. Bucks aren't just gung ho, all in. And God love him, man, but he scared the shit out of me. I was just like, man, wow. I don't want to be that guy like that. Like I'm all about.
Sorry, that's funny. That's hilarious.
I'm all about I'm hard charging. Let's go. Right. But man, he took himself way too seriously,
as we Marines sometimes do. Yes.
Yeah. So we walked out of there and we were in there for a while. I mean, it was a decision that we had to make to not join the Marines. And we walk into the Army office, and that kind of opened our eyes to how many different jobs there actually are in the military. And it's not just carrying a rifle and ruck marching. There's a bajillion things
there isn't
you can do. What's it? Yeah, I mean
there isn't. What?
Yeah, Just kidding. Yeah. So I'll tell you a funny story. So in high school, I took the ASVAB and scored off the charts.
Oh boy.
As a junior in high school, I had every recruiter out there going, "Oh, come with us. You can do anything you want. You just come with us." It was like,
you had a really great GT score.
So I get done. I didn't join the Army straight out of high school. Fast forward back to now, it's me and my brother. We decide that we're going to join the Army. And I get to MEPS. My brother never took the ASVAB. I took it, but it had been like 3 months too long for that to matter anymore. I had to retake it. So now, mind you, when I was a junior in high school, I could pick any job I wanted. As a college kid, I retook the ASVAB, and I had this many 1, 2, 3 choices in the military of positions that I could take. Infantry. It might have been 4, but it was a very small hand group. Infantry, cavalry scout. I could have gone EOD and been on a bomb squad. or I could have been on an Avenger crew team. And my brother, who graduated high school by 1 point, literally 1 point, he had to have a 70 to graduate in one class, and he got a 70 on that class. So he could pick anything that he wanted. He could have been a nurse. He could have been. He could have. I mean, it just didn't matter. So we ended up debating for hours on what we were going to do, and decided that we were going to be hoorah, hard charging, squared away cavalry scouts.
Oh man, you ain't cav, you ain't shit.
If you ain't cav, you ain't shit. That's for sure.
Matt Bertrand, that's for you, buddy.
Yeah, so we get it, and the funny part about all of it is we get through basic, you do all of that stuff, and then you get through your advanced training, and you really learn your job and how to do everything, and we were stoked, right? I mean, we're going out and 4-man teams, 5-man teams, and doing land nav and at night, and just really doing some really high speed shit. We get to Fort Stewart, which is our first duty post, and
Savannah, Georgia.
We are glorified babysitters of nothing. My first 6 months, we guarded a fenced in field that had nothing in it. There was nothing in it. Nothing. We just
practice.
Rotated it out. Yeah, it was fun.
Now, Fort Stewart, that's a big base. I mean, it goes from Richmond Hill all the way to Statesboro. I mean, I lived in Savannah 16 years, and I mean, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't believe how big the base was. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's massive.
Were you down now that field where you were guarding? Was that more the Richmond Hill side, or was that like Statesboro side, like up north?
Statesboro, the north side of post.
Okay. I know where you were.
Yeah, it was up by our gunnery, where we took all of our Bradleys.
Okay.
And it was. Look, it was. It was some of the worst times I've ever had from an uncomfortable standpoint, but some of the best times, and learned the most about life and myself than I ever have. I mean, it was my time in the military was unbelievable. I learned way more about myself, life, how to just not quit, how to continue to persevere in times that you feel like you can't keep going. You can't, there's no way to win this situation, but it's things, those times in my life that I feel like have made me successful outside of my military career as well.
Wow. What years was that?
What years?
Yes.
99 to 02. First to 02 is when I got off of active duty. I was out for a little bit and then rejoined in the reserves, because one of my plans in my active duty career was to become a drill sergeant and go back to Knox and train the new soldiers coming in. I've always really enjoyed training and teaching people that didn't know shit. It's amazing to be able to take somebody that doesn't know anything and turn them into something that is, just perfect, right? They do it the exact right way every time. They grow in their careers and helps them out as well. And for some odd reason, I've always been real big on the training side of things. So when I was in the reserves, I applied to go to drill school. Oh, geez, I think 5 different times. But one of those Marines was one of the retired Marines was our unit administrator, and he didn't really like me too much, and I couldn't imagine why. I mean,
why? You have such a great personality, man.
I know. I'm so fluffy.
No, I'm serious. That was a compliment. I was not being sarcastic at all.
No, it's look. I was young and a smart ass, and coming from active duty and going into a reserve unit.
Yeah,
it's culture shock for me. Right,
yeah, it sucks. I did it also.
I never did that. I never went to reserve side. I have no idea what it's like. But if it's anything like the Tennessee State Guard, then I probably know what you're talking about.
You probably know what I'm talking about. Yeah. It's man, I'll never forget it. I was so I came into the unit as a corporal, and the filled the section sergeant for my section. I only had 3 soldiers in my section. One of them was a specialist, who I, really didn't outrank, but I had the NCO title, so I got it. And then one PFC, and then 1 buck private straight out of basic training. And the buck private straight out of basic training, my first drill weekend, shows up late, out of uniform, didn't shave, and looked like he had been wearing his boots to work at his civilian job all week long, and they weren't polished. And none of that was a go for me at all. So I told him that if he was going to look like shit, that he could at least be in shape. And so I would meet him out front, and we would talk about his appearance when he came to work. So we talked about his appearance and came back inside. And unit administrator sees him, completely soaked in sweat, and kind of pulls me off to the side and says, "Hey, don't you think you should kind of take it easy? I mean, it is your first day." And I said, "Well, my boots are shined, my uniform's pressed, and nobody had to tell me to do it. He's got to learn from somebody. Might as well be me." And later that day, the sergeant major came up to me and said, "Hey, good job on the new soldier. Somebody needed to kick his ass and get him in gear. Roger, sergeant major, I got you. we'll make it happen." But it was just a different world, man. I mean, they called everybody by their first name. There was no rank. And, I mean, I had a little butter bar lieutenant, really, really nice lady. But she called me Charlie one time, and that was the last time she called me Charlie. And I got in trouble for that one because I kind of gave her the tea, but I should have gotten
Yeah, that's Article 90, 91.
Yeah.
Disrespect of an officer or some shit like that.
Yeah. It wasn't bad. I just got told that I needed to be a little bit more respectful.
Oh shit.
So yes, I got you. Roger. We're tracking. We'll keep on moving forward. So, but it was just, I mean, I came from a unit that, we had our guys that struggled too, but I mean, for the most part, my unit was pretty high speed. They were, a rapid deployment, unit that, we prided ourselves on being ready to go and rock and rolling within 36 to 48 hours. And that's not the easiest thing to do, to come out from that, and the guys that I was with on a daily basis and the discipline they had to go to a unit to where we got privates that can't, come to work in a clean uniform and, shave and be ready to rock and roll was just not acceptable. Right. So, but, it goes back to one of those life lessons, proper planning prevents poor performance, right? If you,
yes. Prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
Yeah, you got all 7. I shortened that down, make it something.
No, I know. Well, hey, dude, they told me that all the time in the car. They're like, my sergeant was like 7 P's, drilling it into our head, and I was like, God, man.
Yeah, but that's what it is. That's why I'm so hardcore on being on time now too, right?
And you always are, and you have a great restaurant. I mean, it's fantastic food.
Thank you.
The integrity of that food is just amazing. I mean, you even told me no about using your grill in a very nice manner, and I did. I asked to use the purple.
I know. You don't ever ask somebody that question.
Did you name that thing yet?
I did.
What's that thing's name?
It's the Colonel.
Dude, I tried to get the Colonel off of him, and he's like, no, not at all. Not happening. I'm like, damn it, I tried. The worst he could say is no. He did. And he said it with tact and integrity. So,
who were you to haul that thing with? Your little Honda?
Yeah, with my little Honda Accord. That's right.
Yeah, he not only wanted to use the Colonel, he wanted me to bring it to him.
Yeah, see how he is?
They had to cook hot dogs and hamburgers for the narcotic dogs. It's okay. It worked out. It was great. It worked out very well. I bought these 2 awesome little grills from Walmart for like $64 each, and boom, it was good. Burgers, dogs,
there you go.
Everybody was happy. Yeah.
That's all you needed. You didn't need.
Oh man, that Colonel, that thing is amazing though. God, that thing is beautiful. Do you have a picture of this, Fleek? You got a picture of the Colonel?
I don't.
It's on my Instagram.
I got a picture of your brisket though. That looks pretty good.
Look at that brisket. Oh my God.
Pretty tasty.
And that Oreo dessert. Oh my God, amazing.
The ribs look pretty good.
The ribs are
solid.
The wings are fantastic, man. If you've ever had his wings are delish.
Pretty good.
And these smoked baked beans, are they from scratch?
Oh yeah, we don't. I have a microwave in my kitchen for moon pies. We heat up the moon pie for the moon pie dessert, and then I have a freezer to store French fries. But outside of that, we don't. Literally, that's the microwaves for the moon pie and the free. Literally, I got 2 pieces of equipment that are for 1 item a piece.
Right.
Everything else is made from scratch.
So, what style of barbecue would you say you are? Like Texas, Kansas City,
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
I'm a blend. So, I cook. Technique wise, I'm a Texas style pitmaster kind of technique wise. I use all hickory. I cook on an offset pit. The Colonel, it's 1,000-gallon offset pit made by Primitive out of Coal Mountain, Georgia. They do a phenomenal job of building some pretty amazing pits. And so from that standpoint, I'm pretty Texas outside of the wood that I use. Majority of Texas uses oak. Mm-hmm. I like a little bit more heat. So oak doesn't burn quite as hot as hickory does. So I like using the hickory. It also has a little bit more of a pungent flavor than oak does. Oak is a little bit lighter smoke than hickory is. So I think it just kind of, it's what I've grown up on using, so I just enjoy using the hickory. But from a technique standpoint, I'm straight out of Texas. From a food standpoint, my brisket is very much Texas, salt and pepper, hickory, let it roll.
So good.
Yeah, the ribs are
so good.
Ribs are kind of a Memphis style because I don't put sauce on anything. And then my barbecue sauces are a blend. So my original barbecue sauce is, I don't like real thick barbecue. I don't really like a lot of barbecue sauce on stuff to begin with, just my personal thing. But So the original sauce is a blend of a Kansas City, Tennessee, North Carolina kind of sauce.
Wow.
It's a little bit thicker, but it has some apple cider vinegar in it as well to kind of thin it out. And then it's got a little bit of salt and pepper in there to kind of throw in some Texas and Memphis kind of area. So it's a big blend of all of it. So
wow, that's amazing, man.
Yeah. So who's watching your pit while it's cooking all night long? Like, are you afraid somebody's just going to roll up and jack your food?
I have that thing nailed down pretty tight.
Oh yeah.
We cook, and I cook the day prior. So, everything that we have for tomorrow, big protein wise, is for today. We cook today, right? So, because brisket takes, 10, 12 hours, 14 hours to cook,
right?
The pork butts will take 8 or 9 hours to cook. Those proteins, if I don't get a day ahead, I would never be able to keep up. Not to mention, I also don't like taking a brisket straight off the smoker and having it unwrapped and served immediately. Right. I like it to rest for at least 5 to 6 hours before I even slice into it, to give the meat time to relax and all the juices and rendered fat to redistribute throughout the whole packer.
Charlie, did you learn all this like on the job, or did you go to school for this? Because it sounds pretty technical when it comes to your type of barbecuing.
I just watch YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I learned how to cook too.
Seriously, it's that easy of an answer.
I do that. That's how I do it.
I thought I was gonna get some a little bit more.
So the funny part is, I didn't really get into smoking really big until probably 10, 15 years ago. We always did live fire cooking when I was a kid. My grandfather's farm had a huge rock fireplace out back, and we would sit out there. He'd have the fire going. We'd cook on it and cook steaks and burgers, whatever we wanted to cook. And that's where I learned a lot about smoking, with not even smoking, because when you're smoking foods, it's really not about the actual smoke as much as it is fire management. So you never really want to have a whole bunch of billowing smoke coming out of your smoker, right? Because when you do, then you don't have a very clean fire, meaning it's not a flame going in there. So then that gray smoke or that black smoke that you get, that will turn your food very pungent and have kind of a creosol flavor, right? It's just not good, right? You ever eat a smoked wing, and it just kind of just doesn't taste good?
Yeah, it tasted acridity, it tastes very acidy, like. Yeah,
a lot of acid. Yep. Well, that's that smoke getting into the chicken. So,
okay.
When you have a very clean fire, that doesn't happen. You're really just cooking with heat. So the smoke adds seasoning to the meat, but it doesn't actually cook the meats. The heat from your fire is what will do that. So learning how to manage a fire was what really got me to be able to understand how to smoke meats. And that's the hard part, is when it's cold outside, you're going to manage the fire differently than when it's hot outside, when it's raining, when it's overcast, when it's just cool, when there's a lot of humidity, when there's not a lot of humidity. I mean, there's a lot of different factors that go into where the wind's blowing. If it's blowing from the north and I got my pit facing to the south, then I'm probably going to be all right. But if it's the other way around, then I'm going to have to be careful about how much air is actually getting into the firebox, because if there's too much air getting into the firebox, then I'll get the pit really hot really fast. So, there's then your pit construction. I mean, there's engineering and aerodynamics and biology and science, and it's, how.
Yeah, don't get into that. I failed biology.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that's good.
What temperature are you shooting for?
I like to stay right at 250 degrees. If you cook at 250 and you stay at 250, you can, the thing about smoking is it doesn't matter what temperature you use. You can, I know guys that cook at 275. I know guys that cook at 225. And as long as you maintain that level of heat the entire cook, then your food will come out the way you want it to. It's when you get down to 200, right? You're trying to maintain 250, but you get down to 200. Then you go in there and you throw in too many logs and it spikes up to 300. So then you're on this roller coaster of a cook for the whole time. And it adds time to how long it's going to cook. And then when it's getting hot, you run the risk of burning the outside edges of some of your food. And if you have smaller proteins on, like ribs or chicken quarters or chicken thighs or something along those lines, then you start burning your food on the outside edges, but then the inside's not even close to done. So
you do your chickens at 250 also?
I cook everything at 250. Yeah.
Low and slow, baby. Yep. Low and slow.
Yeah. So once I wrap my brisket and pork, it doesn't hurt my feelings if it goes up a little bit and I get into the 260, 270 range, because it's wrapped and it's already, all the juices and everything are going to stay in there. I'm fine with it getting a little bit hotter than, I don't run the risk of it burning because it's wrapped up in butcher paper or foil or whatever we're using.
What do you prefer, butcher paper or foil?
It's a good question. So butcher paper helps maintain your bark. If you use foil, your bark it'll get a little bit more tacky. And you run the risk of pulling it off or just being not as crusty. So when you get into with the paper, it just kind of helps maintain all that moisture, and it'll keep. If you let your bark get set before you wrap, when you pull it out, it's gonna be nice. It'll be real nice.
Yeah. When I'm doing brisket, I always use paper.
Yeah. I personally prefer paper. I will tell you that when we first opened, I couldn't find the size butcher paper I wanted. So I had to use foil for a good couple of months, because we opened in the middle of a pandemic and you couldn't find toilet paper, let alone, butcher paper. Yeah. And I had a lot of compliments about brisket back then. Even though it didn't have a killer bark on it. It was, now around here, it's really hard to find people that cook brisket in a Texas style, and can do it pretty good.
So how did you?
I know somebody. You can do that.
I try.
How'd you master trimming your brisket? Because sometimes that seems to be a little difficult.
Yeah. The easiest way to master brisket, whether it's from trimming or cooking or any part of it, is just to screw it up. It's trimming. Trimming, I learned two different ways. One, I did read a lot. I was fortunate enough to spend a week in LA with Aaron Franklin, who's the messiah of the brisket world, right? So. Yeah. And asked him a lot of tips and tricks and, what can I do? How can I do this? This is what I get. I don't like it. How do I fix it? That was a very informative week for me. And then just trying things that you hear when you're talking to other barbecue people. Like I learned that, the colder your brisket is, the easier it is to trim. So I try to keep mine as cold as I can get it without freezing it. And in that way, the hard fat, the big fat that's on the brisket, when you trim it, comes off almost like soap, right?
Yeah.
And then, look, I learned real fast when you have one brisket to trim and your knife is not extremely sharp, but it's not real dull, you can kind of hack your way through it, right? But when you have 10, 12, 15 briskets to cook, your blade better be really, really sharp. So
yeah, my back is hurting just thinking of doing 15 briskets.
I've gotten it down now where I can from the time I open the package to the time I'm done with that brisket, I can do it in about 4 or 5 minutes per.
Nice.
Well, that's pretty good.
That's real good.
What do you do with the fat that you cut off?
Oh, from the trimmings? Yeah. So I use 100% of the entire packer. So there's no waste in my restaurant from a brisket standpoint. We use the hard fat. We cut off any meat that's on there whatsoever, and that goes in one pile, and then all the fat goes into another pile. The fat pile goes into a pan and back on the smoker.
Make tallow.
And we make a smoked beef tallow from that, and then the rest of it we grind up for hamburger.
Yeah. Where do you get the restaurant quality packers? Like where do you get your beef?
So now we are getting all of our beef is from a farm in Georgia called Chattel Farms. It's a prime grade beef. You can't get it in the store.
Right.
If you want, good brisket around here, you can go to Sam's, you can go to Costco. They sell prime beef. They sell prime briskets. It's expensive, right? It's $4 or $5 a pound, but, and most of those, I know that Sam's, they sell an Excel brand and then a National beef brand. National, I'm not a huge fan of. The beef itself is fine. It's just how the packers come. Their processors don't do a phenomenal job of trimming the briskets off the cow. Excel is probably the most consistent from what you get in each box, right? But the brisket we use from Chattel Farms, it's phenomenal. The flavor, the consistency, the tenderness. I mean, it's good. It's real good. I don't know if you. I just started getting it full time this last week, so I don't know if you've had it yet, but it's really, really good.
No, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
I was going to ask where you got your. I tried your pork, and that was amazing. Is that from Chantel Farms too?
No, it's not. It's a Patuxi, I think is the name of it. Okay. They do a pretty good job. It's a very, very consistent product all the way down the line.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
There's a theme that you'll find in my restaurant is consistency and simplicity. Everything I can use. Go just like the brisket, the trimmings that I have left over from a sandwich or a plate or whatever that may be, I can use that for my smoked beans, right? So we try to keep everything intertwined where you don't have a ton of different single items in the restaurant that are just used for one specific thing. So we can keep everything together and keep all the recipes very simple, and that way anybody and everybody can make them.
Charlie, are you part of the Chamber of Commerce yet here in town?
I'm not. We have actually been having some conversations the last week or two.
Okay.
And then
I was just gonna ask if you guys had a ribbon cutting, or if there's gonna be one in the future.
I don't know. We might not. I'm not. For me, it's word of mouth is a big part of it. Social media is a big part of it.
The fact that you were on Channel 2 News like 2 weeks ago, yeah, that was kind of big too.
Yeah. Well, we were on Channel 4 this afternoon.
Channel 4. Sorry, is it 2 or 4? Which one is
both?
It?
Both.
You were on both? Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know about 4. Shit. Damn,
yeah,
good for you.
That was today. So
you did Channel 4 today?
Yeah.
Oh man, I missed it. Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you, if I ever wanted a good brisket to do at home, would there be any chance I could come and buy a fresh one from you?
Yeah, of course.
God. Nice.
Hell yeah.
Yes, good question.
Yeah. Because like you go to Kroger, they got crap. There's 3 different grades of meat that a consumer can buy. There's choice, select, and prime.
Yeah.
I want the good stuff, man, that these guys get.
Yeah.
Hey, he's right about Sam's Club and Costco. They got some good meat up there.
I really only buy my meat at either one of those, because the other places, Kroger and Publix, they just don't cut it for me.
Nope.
Yeah, Sam's brisket, their brisket's good. If I can't get the brisket I want, I'll go to Sam's and get it. It's they're prime. I wouldn't go with a choice, but
right.
But that's also a personal preference on just smoking. I don't like smoking choice briskets. I don't think there's enough intermuscular fat,
right,
for it to produce the product that I want it to produce. Right. You can cook it good, but it's just not great.
Yeah. I got my brisket down pretty good, but I'm trying to work on my chicken now, because you don't want rubbery skin.
Yeah.
Cooking with Squidly. He's trying to get tips right now.
Yeah, I'm always down for. I love cooking.
So I do like cooking. Are you what kind of are you cooking whole birds, or are you cooking quarters? What are you cooking?
So I cook whole birds, but I think I was just thinking to myself the other day, I'm going to start quartering them.
And if you cook a whole bird, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with cooking a whole bird. I love cooking whole birds. I will tell you the best. I have personally found that spatchcocking a whole bird, putting the breast towards the fire, and just let it roll. And if you cook it at 250 to 275, the biggest part about getting a crispy skin that I find that most people make a mistake in is when they put it on their smoker, the skin's not dry. They don't let it sit out long enough and pat it dry. You got to pat it dry once, right? And then you got to pat it dry again before you season it.
Do you oil it or anything?
No. The quarters I do for the restaurant, we literally I pull out of the cooler, I rinse them off, trim them up, and make them look pretty, right? And then once they're completely rinsed, I let them sit for like 10 minutes and just kind of dry them off, make sure all the moisture is getting out of it, because the least amount of moisture you can have in the skin, the more it's going to get crispy and not get burnt.
What's your take on pulling the skin off, season the meat, and then put the skin back over top without ripping it?
I've heard people do that. I've just never done it.
Yeah.
I've never even heard that people even do that. Do people do that? Really?
Oh, yeah. Now, one thing I will tell you is that
I've never done that ever.
I like doing it home. I can't do it for the restaurant because it's too time consuming, but pulling the skin, if you take a quarter or the whole chicken, you can shove your hand up in the cavity in between the meat and the skin and kind of pull it away. And then I like shoving pats of butter and garlic in there. And that's always a fun thing to do.
Yeah. Sounds delicious.
It does. It does. I just had pizza, but now I'm hungry right now. Damn.
I just had pizza also.
Did you?
Yeah.
I had a frozen pizza. It wasn't too fancy.
No.
Charlie,
Love it.
do you from your military experience to Single True now, what do you think that you've taken from your military time? By the way, thank you for your service.
Yes.
And how have you put it into use into your daily life as founder of Single Tree Barbecue?
Look, man, I will tell you this. I'm not the smartest guy in the room. Nor do I really want to be. You know, I never want to be the guy that walks into a room and, you know, has all the answers. Because of that, I've always felt like I've had a chip on my shoulder as far as how successful I can be. You know, somebody else has got this degree, that degree, or they've been in the industry this long or that long. And, you know, I was always the youngest manager in every restaurant that I ever ran. I was, you know, right before I turned 22, I became a general manager at 21 years old, fresh out of the Army, and became a GM of a restaurant. I was the youngest multi-unit manager at Ruby Tuesdays when they had 700-800 locations. The youngest vice president, the youngest chief operations officer, all of those things, right?
Wow.
I've
Nice.
always been the youngest, and but I've done that because I'm not politically correct. I'm not human resources correct. I talk to you how I talk to you. I treat you like a human being. I get mad. And I don't hide that. You know, but the one thing that I learned at a young age is, and I think Derek Jeter says it best, is you can't beat the guy that doesn't quit. And I won't quit. I just won't. I mean, all three of us could go on a ruck right now, and I guarantee you I'm going to beat you. There's not a question to me.
Well, definitely Fleek, because Fleek doesn't rock.
I promise you. But it's not about how good a shape I'm in. It's not about how much stronger you are or bigger you are, or how much work you put in. For me, it's just I can't lose. And
it sounds like pure determination and integrity.
Well, one of the things I've lived my life off of is called feed. And feed is focus, effort, enthusiasm, and discipline. Right.
Like
so if you focus on your goal and you do it with effort and enthusiasm and have the discipline to do that every single day, then you will win. You may not win tomorrow. You may not win next week, but you will win if you consistently focus on your goals and do it with effort, enthusiasm, and discipline.
Dude, I like that. You should trademark that, man. Feed. I like that. Where do you get that from? Or did you make that up?
I made it up.
Really? Damn, that's good, man. All right, another acronym that we have to learn. Feed.
Well, I was just going to say, I think I just found my quote for the next book.
Yeah, you did. That's the quote for the next.
There we go.
Charlie, okay. What's your favorite? What is your favorite meal that you like? That either you cook it or somebody else cooks for you. What is your favorite food that you want to eat?
The one with family.
That's good.
Very philosophical.
That's good.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. I look, man. I'm a food guy. You know, I mean, I grew up in a household where we ate ribeyes and baked potatoes, right? And we sat on a back porch and, you know, drank bourbon and smoked cigars and cooked, you know, crappy ass sirloins over a fire and, you know, ate the bass that we caught out of the pond earlier that day. Like, you know, for me, food is not. It's not just food. It's family. It's community. It's how can we sit around and figure out how we're going to conquer the world's problems tonight? Not sit around and, go get some, creme brulee or, with a 90-day-old dry aged ribeye that was.
So that does actually sound pretty good, but it does.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. You're right. And you were getting to a really good point. The community, the family, like it doesn't matter what you're eating, you're just around with each other. And I did this yesterday. I had a lot of my VFW members, our VFW members, come to my house and cook burgers and dogs. And the food wasn't great. I mean, it was frozen burgers that took like 3 minutes to cook, and these, horrible hot dogs. But you know what? It didn't matter.
I hope they were all beef hot dogs.
No, they were. They were all beef, definitely all beef. But they were like ones I bought at Publix. I mean, I got a 2-pack for like, I don't know, $15 or something like that. And there were like, there were 15 hot dogs. And it wasn't the food, it was the company. And Charlie's right. It's not what you're eating, it's who you're eating with. And I think you dived into my next question about saving lives. And that's what Fleek and I are trying to do with these interviews, are trying to save, lives of our veterans, and getting around and talking and it being part of the community is a big thing, and eating together and sharing a meal, breaking bread.
Yeah.
Definitely helps people. And that's what you're doing in our community at Murfreesboro. I mean, you came out of nowhere and you are like the best barbecuer, smoker, barbecuist. I don't know. What is your terminology? What is your
No, that's good. I'm good with that. Yeah.
You're a barbecuist. A barbecuist, right? Is that what it is?
Something along those lines.
But yeah, you're doing this for us. I mean, you fed how many 300 people at an event? Where was that? It was I saw the slabs of meat like on a huge table. Where was that at?
That was at Redstone Federal Credit
Redstone
Union.
Bank. Yeah, you fed.
It was the Chamber of Commerce's after hours.
Yeah, the after hours. That's right. The party after hours, or business after hours.
Yeah.
And you doing so much for our community with food and bringing people together, and people are talking about your food, from Cedar Glades Brewery to Panther Creek to Single Tree to, across town. Everyone's talking about Single Tree Barbecue. You've done an amazing thing, man.
My father and my grandfather are very big role models and influences in my life.
Your father's cool, by the way. I did meet him. He's awesome.
He's an all right fellow. We like him. We like him. No, I don't know where I'd be without him. He helped shape me into the man I am today. And my grandfather did as well. And it's where the name of my company comes from. Single Tree was my grandfather's farm. And he always,
that's where that name. Okay. That's another question I was going to ask. Where's Single Tree Barbecue come from?
He always wanted to have a restaurant, never did it. So when I lost my job in 2020, and we were trying to decide what I was going to name the place, Single Tree is what it was. It just made sense to me. It means way more to me than just food. I've been telling people over the last year or so that I want to be the Nike of barbecue. And
he has. He's said that a couple times.
So
he said that.
It resonates with me a little bit. And
dude, hey, it's looking good already.
Well, if you look at Mr. Knight, who started Nike, he didn't start Nike to make running shoes or apparel or any of that. He wanted to be the street lights for the guys that were running, right? He was trying to build community. He was trying to help people achieve their goals. We're trying to do the exact same thing. Our mission statement is to build community through online storytelling, digital hospitality, and the perfect plate of barbecue. Wow.
That's a good mission statement.
Yeah, I like it.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, I just think that you have to tell stories, for people to understand your past. You have to tell stories for people to understand your future. You have to have undeniable hospitality for people to want to hang out with you. And if you're not selling the perfect plate of food, then people aren't going to buy it. And, my goal and my job is as a founder of a company here in town is to make an impact in our community. For me to make an impact, I have the ability, I have the thoughts, I have the ideas. I have to just go out and do it. It's my responsibility to make sure that I am impacting that community in the right way. And if I can do that through the perfect plate of barbecue and partnering with you guys or Stop 22 or some of these other local businesses, like we were talking to the Brass Horn today, which is a coffee shop.
The Brass idea.
So, we want to get,
Horn.
well, we want to get with them and get our own brand of coffee through them.
Nice.
So then it's not only solving a need that I need, right? I need a good coffee, but then it has, another local establishment that is based out of here, driven from here, helps our economy and helps our community grow.
Man, I saw Joe Carr this morning. I wish I had told him. I forgot to tell him that we had Charlie Eblen on the TSP tonight, and I walked right past him. I was like, "Hey, what's up, Mr. Mayor?" And I was like, "Oh shit!" I was going to Joni's, and I was like, "Damn it! I forgot to tell him that we're interviewing the best barbecuist in Murfreesboro. Damn it! It's okay. I'll see him again. I'll see him. I'll see him again.
I'm sure he'll come.
I was downtown. I was downtown at Joni's today getting, Woods Viking. They cut me all up. I look fabulous. Thank you. Thank you, Woods Viking.
You do look fabulous.
I know. I am.
You're all glammed out.
I am glad I am. But those those two Purple Heart parking spaces in the center of town, they got destroyed this weekend. I didn't even know this.
Who did
I had
that?
to go,
Did somebody
one got bent, one got stolen. So I immediately Facebooked Commissioner Pettis Reed, and he's like, "Oh, I know about it. We're getting him taken care of." So that's awesome. We're going to have our Purple Heart parking spaces back. But I tried to go park in my spot this morning, and there were two big Ford F-150s, and I'm like, they don't have Purple Heart license plates. Why are they in my spot? And they were gone. One got bent, one got stolen. So
you have a handicap sticker anyways, don't you?
No, just Purple Heart. I have a handicap placard. I want both, but I don't think they do that in Tennessee. They don't do Purple Heart and handicap at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't think they do.
Well, you're covered either way, so you're good.
But no, that was a thing from downtown. Charlie, you need to bring your stuff to Saturday downtown or Sunday.
Saturday market.
Saturday market. Oh hell yeah! I think you'd mop up there, man.
It's good. It's a big market.
And to get your beard trimmed up. Do you go to Woods Viking for that? Or do
no,
you do it yourself?
I have most of the time I do it myself, but I've used I've gone to Tapered Barbershop. The same barber. I've had the same barber since 25 years ago.
When you started that beard?
No, I started the beard a couple weeks ago.
No, come on, man. You're making me feel like horrible, man. I can't even grow. Like I used to have it down to here, and then I had to shave it. Yours looks fantastic.
I mean, if you want to have a race, we can do a race. I'll shave it off.
Okay. Yes.
We can see
that's good.
Grows faster.
And you know what? We will raise money. Whoever can grow the beard the fastest, that money goes to a nonprofit here in Murfreesboro. So whoever wins has to shell it out.
Well, I think we need to raise money for me to shave it off.
Or that too.
There you go.
Or we could do that too. That actually works as well.
And then we can have a personal side note bet on who grows the fastest.
Okay. Hey, listeners, do you hear that? The gauntlet has been thrown.
Yeah. What do you think it's worth to shave, guys? Y'all come up with a number.
God, $50. I give you $75 to shave that off.
$75.
Yeah, I give you $75 to shave that off your face.
Okay, we're gonna need to get our listeners involved here.
Yeah,
we're gonna start a GoFundMe on that. Get a little extra dollars.
$25, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
Hey, or we could take the hair that's off your face and we can give it to St. Baldrick's, and they can give it to somebody that needs hair. Like, I don't know. I need hair. Yes, I need hair. I mean, look at it. I mean, it's like shiny up here, man. I'm like Columbo. Wait,
it looks good though.
Columbo. Who's that? What's his name?
Kojak.
Thank you very much.
Kojak.
Here's looking at you, baby.
Oh, I love it.
I love that, dude. I love that. Some of our listeners, they all like, what the hell?
Hey, I got one more question, man. Do you ever plan on getting a liquor license at your restaurant?
So we have the beer permit now.
Okay.
I'm actually got to finish all that stuff out. We're just waiting on the city is all we're doing.
Okay. So beer and liquor is different?
Yeah, beer and liquor is different. So we're kind of
liquor's way more expensive.
We're kind of stair-stepping our way into it. So,
all right. What are your hours?
Right now it's we're closed on Mondays. Give the team and myself time to get ready for the week and just kind of rest. And then Tuesday through Saturday we're open 11 to 8, and on Sunday we're open 11 to 4. We do a half day so the team can go home and enjoy their Sunday evenings.
Are you still looking for people to assist you in Single Tree?
Oh yeah. We're always looking for good people. We need some servers. We need some cooks. We got a couple of people starting this week, but the farther we get into the summer, I have a couple of people that are going to be leaving, go back to college and do stuff along those lines like they need to do. But, we're always looking for good people, man. Always.
Anybody out there looking for a job, go see Charlie Eblen. Go on the web and look up Single Tree Barbecue and apply, or send an email to sales at
just send it
singletreebarbecue.com.
Yeah, everything is at Single Tree BBQ. Even the website is singletreebbq.com. My personal email address is Charlie, CHARLIE at singletreebbq.com. It is all the same.
It's grunt proof.
It is grunt proof. Yeah. Yeah. Keep it simple. Even a Marine can figure it out.
Even a Marine.
Yeah. That's pretty simple.
It's like tying a bowline knot, right? Fleek?
Yeah.
Or a half hitch.
Don't ask me to tie any knots right now.
Hey, listen, man, I just saw an NCIS episode where they're like, hey, tie a bowline, tie this. And dude, you Navy people, you're nuts. Like, I was like, no, I don't know.
Well, you have to learn them all to pass boot camp for one.
Really?
Yeah.
So instead of an M16, you guys have a piece of rope and you have to just practice on how to tie knots.
Yeah, during muster, the company commander will give you a rope and say he'll just rattle off a knot, and you have to tie it up and drop it on the deck.
Shut up!
I swear.
Ugh, that's horrible.
I guess the M16 wouldn't be very useful on a big boat like that, though.
Nope.
Well, and enlisted on a ship, they can't have any weapons. Only the officers can, and I learned that from Marine Corps and from NCIS.
Yeah, my entire time in the Navy, I never touched one weapon.
At all? Not a shotgun? Nothing?
Oh, so the day that we were supposed to go to the range, so I was in Great Lakes, which is north of Chicago. My first day was January 28th. So you can imagine north of Chicago in January.
Ooh, that's cold.
So the day that we were supposed to be on the range, it snowed like hell. So we were on stand down in our barracks or in our berthing areas. So we weren't even allowed to go outside. It was snowing so bad outside.
Oh, wow.
So the hazing continued inside. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
The crazy thing was, this was in 1985, January 1985. The only way you could get a 15-minute break is if you smoked. If you smoke and coke, and if you didn't smoke, you were scrubbing the toilets or swabbing a deck. Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
In boot camp?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what a 15-minute break is, because we never had that. Shit, we were never alone ever, except like, talking to your friends on a toilet.
I'll tell you my funny
morning.
I'll tell you my funny boot camp story.
Please do, Charlie, please.
So mine was OSUT training, the one-stop unit training. So we did all my all 17 weeks was all at the same unit. Okay.
Yeah.
So we get there and they first day they blow us out and tell us, it's going to be 4 different phases. You got your red phase, and then you got your white phase, and then your blue phase, and then you'll get to gold phase. But gold phase is only like the last 10 days you're here, and your training is pretty much complete, but we'll just fine tune everything from there. So, and they say that's when you get all your freedoms, and, after chow at night, you'll have your free time, but it's like the last 10 days that we're there. Okay. Everything's done. It's just your last 10 days. So the whole, 15 weeks leading up to this, that's kind of like the carrot that everybody is reaching for, right? We're all like, oh my goodness, we'll be able to even like breathe a little bit. So we get through red phase, a couple people had gotten hurt and dropped out. We get through white phase, a couple more. We get to blue phase. Blue phase is 3 weeks long. Okay. And in these 3 weeks, now we have, it's not, drill sergeants running up and down the halls with trash cans and all the crazy shit anymore. Now it's just, PT's a little bit harder, a little bit longer. Marches are a little bit longer, a little bit harder, etc. Right? When you do screw up, punishments are a little bit worse. We are 3 days away from getting into our gold phase. And we had a private, which is so cliche, but his name was Private Powder.
Nice.
And we
called name.
It was. Well, we called him Powder because he was white as the driven.
Oh, like the movie. Oh shit, yeah. That's awesome.
I mean, just pure powder. So we every night, just like everybody else, we had fire guard. Okay. And then you had fire guard, and you had somebody on cleaning duty, whether that was the floors or whatever was supposed to be done. Well, this particular night, we had one private who was doing the floors, and Powder was the other private doing fire guard. No big deal. We've been doing it for months. Let's just keep on trucking. We're almost finished. And we got 13 days left in this place, and we can go home to our families and enjoy a good cheeseburger. This son of a biscuit. All of a sudden, it's about 2:30 in the morning, and you hear 4 or 5 different drills yelling, screaming, cussing, jumping up and down, making all the racket you could possibly imagine. And they yell at everybody, get out on the ready line. We get out on the ready line. And Private Powder decided that his britches were big enough that he could just go crawl in the drill sergeant's bunk and take a nap.
What?
Oh, Jesus.
So one of the drills,
horrible.
One of my drills comes in. I'll never forget this guy a day in my life. Drill Sergeant O'Vera. He's probably 5. He's about my height, 5'6", 5'7", maybe 5'8". If we're wearing our boots. But he is just. I mean, he is yoked. And he was one of the drills. He wore his hat like this, and you couldn't see his eyes. Oh my Lord, boys! I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I've never seen a Hispanic gentleman turn that color white. That's how mad he was. He was pale from how bad he was yelling at this poor private, who not only, when I tell you that this boy did not get in his drill's bunk and take a nap on top of the covers. Oh, no, sir.
He climbed in.
He took his boots off and climbed in underneath the sheets.
Wow.
And this was out.
Oh, man.
So we got treated like we were not even in the military anymore because we were less than that, because we would allow one of our privates to do something so egregious against him and so disrespectful to the military in general.
Oh my, that takes balls, man. That takes some serious huevos.
That's not even balls, man. That's just
stupid.
Plain ignorance, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, that tops like my story. We had a kid in my boot camp class, and he just started yelling at the top of his lung, "It's all a mind game. It's all a mind game." Well, that kid, he was punished for about a month and a half. Like, we didn't have to do shit. He had to scuzz every single deck and the stairs of our 3-level boot camp of our company, because he said it was all a mind game. And it was. I mean, the drill instructors had a playbook this big. I mean, it's scripted. All the shit's scripted. Like, even cutting up the senior drills belt and like, oh, we're so disappointed in you, and go to the tree line and come back and make your bed in 7 minutes. I mean, that was not even compared to what Private Powder had done. That takes the cake, man. That takes the cake.
It's one of my favorite military stories. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, hey, Charlie, it's an hour and 18. Fleek, do you have anything else? We're getting kind of long on this. I want to get Charlie back.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm just looking forward to working with old Charlie here in the near future.
Yeah, Charlie, thank you. We want to do anything and everything to help the community, to help you out. VFW, Marine Corps League, DAV, VVA, whatever.
Yeah, send veterans to sporting events.
Heck yeah. I do need that. If one of y'all could send me an email with all that in writing, so I can get with one of my vendors that I've already been speaking to, so we can put some stuff together. I might be able to get some stuff donated that would be really cool.
Okay. I could send you my EIC from the IRS, saying that I'm a legit nonprofit, and I could send you you my fact sheet. I could send you all kinds of stuff.
I love it. Yeah, that'll do good for us. I've been talking.
I'll send my stuff from the VFW too, if you want that too.
Yeah.
But Charlie, we love you, man. You're the best barbecuist in Murfreesboro. So you've heard it here. He is the best.
Besides me.
Single Tree Barbecue. Try his stuff. It's awesome. Great food.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your service. Thanks for hopping on, and thanks for delicious food.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
Yes, we'll see you.
See y'all.